much. Well, tonight we're responding to a woman in Summers who says a delay in her tax refund turned into a months-long ordeal. NBC Connecticut consumer investigative reporter Jennifer Joas shows us how the Responds team helps speed up the process.
Karen Shaw in Summers says she filed her state tax income return in April and was anxiously waiting for her $1,300 refund.
It was the first time I've ever had to file a return in multiple states. So it was a little bit complicated.
But later that month, she received this in the mail. A letter from the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services saying an additional level of review is required of her tax return and the processing of her refund may be delayed for several weeks.
I immediately called them, and the person I spoke with said, actually, it's a routine letter and it just says that it's going to be delayed.
So Shaw waited for her refund, but several weeks went by. She says she called DRS once in May and then 3 times in June to get a status update.
It's in process is all she could tell me, and I was extremely frustrated.
By the end of June, it had been 12 weeks since she filed her tax return, and she says there was still no further update from the state about when her refund would be sent.
I'm thinking to myself, gosh, if I owed them money and I wasn't paying, I would have interest attached to that and penalties.
So Shaw wrote to NBC Connecticut Responds for help. We contacted the Department of Revenue Services to ask what was taking so long. A spokesperson said they couldn't talk to us about specific taxpayer information, but that same day,
I received a telephone call from the assistant commissioner of the DOR in Connecticut apologizing to me and said that I would receive my check within a week to 10 days.
Shaw told us she got her refund check a few days later and is saving the money for a rainy day. Connecticut's Department of Revenue Services says each review case is different and timelines can vary. If you find yourself in a similar situation, DRS says you can call this number, email the department, or send secure messages through the MyConnect portal.
I just want to say thank you again, and I was very happy to get the results I did. I can tell you that it made a difference.
We're happy we could help. If you've tried everything and you still can't get your issue resolved, use the QR code on your screen to submit a complaint to our team. For NBC Connecticut Responds, I'm Jennifer Joas.